Yes, yes, yes. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody is doing well, man. We got a lot to discuss tonight. Lots to discuss tonight, man. Been getting a lot of questions about Ryan Garcia and the stuff that's been going on with that. And we're going to talk about all of that. I want to get your input on all of that. You know, we got to talk about it real quickly, real briefly, as we talk about the fights that happened as well, too, this past weekend, man. But, you know, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well, man. Beautiful day. Beautiful day today. Hope everybody's week is off to a good start so far, man. We are in the month of March. How crazy is that? How crazy is that already, man? Felt like it was just January 1st, not too long ago, and here we are, man. I think once we get to like June, I always feel like, June, everything is accelerated and the year is almost done. Almost done. What's going on, my good people, man? My man Chris over in the UK. What's going on, big dog? Good to see you, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you taking the time to stay up, man. How you be staying up, bro? You be having a little coffee? How you be staying up? Jay, man, what's going on, my man? What's going on, my man? I saw your comment late. You had a good financial weekend. You had some good wins. You had some good wins, man. I want to hear about it, man. I want to hear about it. Well, it's day over there. Man, it is, yeah, I guess it's still day over here. You probably about to head to sleep in a little bit, man. Ease, what's going on, my man? What's going on, big dog, man? Appreciate you tapping in, man. Appreciate you, my man. Couple more times. Ease, man. I see you. I've seen you in the comments. But might be your first time live here, bro. Might be your first time on the chat catching it live. I appreciate you checking in, man. Oh, yes, yes. My man knows. Good to see you, man. I'm used to staying up. Fights happening in America. Oh, yeah, that's a good point, bro. That's a good point. What time is the Ngannou and Joshua card over there? I think that one comes on later for you and really kind of early for us. But man, we'll touch on that as we go. Man, real quick, you know how we do it as we start everyone. I like to give you guys what we're going to be talking about, right? So everybody gathers their thoughts and we tap it on the discussion. Obviously, we got to talk a little Ray Ford and Kholmatov. We got to talk about that. What a fight. We're going to talk about that. Luis Alberto Lopez, man, his fight with Rhea Abe. Got to talk about that. Amanda Serrano, cancel fight. Been hearing some different thoughts on that. Want to get your guys' thoughts on that. But, man, that was something I was not seeing coming. Then we got to talk about Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, all that has been transpiring. Is the fight in jeopardy, right? What's going on with Ryan Garcia? What's going on? I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. And then we're going to talk about all of the fights that's happening this weekend. If you guys have any changes, talk about that. Cool down segment. I also said last week that I'm going to I brought the medal out for those that wanted to see last week. I brought the medal, so I'll show that. We'll talk about that a little bit. Q&A, quarter of the week, and then we'll close on out of here, man. Shouldn't be too long of a show. I feel like I always say that, and we always go like an hour. But I appreciate you guys for tapping in, for taking the time, man. You know it's always love, man. Here we go. You sustain up. Yeah, indeed. Any underdogs you got this week? Oh, man. You know, I put out a video today about Kevin Lorena fight, Justice Haney. Man, I like Haney, even though I think he's gonna win. I think from betting wise, I don't know who the favorite is. I think Lorena, there might be some stock there, especially on that distance play. You know, and I'm starting to understand that Vargas is the underdog by quite a bit, from my understanding, from people have told me, and it seems like a lot of money is coming on Francis Ngannou as well too. So I don't know if those guys would be considered underdogs, but for me, those ones is just very interesting. But yeah, man, 11 p.m. UK time. It's gonna be, yeah, that's what they say. But sometimes you know how those cards go, man. You know the Tyson Fury and Ngannou card. What a what a what a show that was. What a show that was. Even get into that fight, man. My brother Francisco, hold it down in AZ. What's going on, man? Got you at Sharp Focus. Just got reading glasses, man. My wife got some glasses as well too, and it's really crazy how much they really help the reading aspect of it, man. So appreciate you, man. Dustin, what's going on, big dog? Man, good to see you here. Always love. I always see you in the comments, man. So it's good that you're able to catch on. For those who will continue to tune in a little bit later, man, let's get into the show. Check out these last two comments. I don't know about Francis Ngannou winning. I don't think he's going to win. I'm rolling with Joshua, but it seems like Joshua is starting to be the underdog from what I've been told. So, again, that's just what I've been told, what I've been seeing, but I'm going with Joshua, man. So if Joshua is the underdog, then, I mean, that seems like it's good money. Obviously, we'll see. Yeah. Spot on with that one, man. So let's get the show going, man. Let's get the show going. So where we want to start? You know what? Let's start with co-main event. What do we think about this fight, man? What was interesting about this fight, my original prediction was Lopez by stoppage at some point throughout this fight. I felt like between 7 to 12 was what I thought. But my wife, who doesn't really watch a whole lot of boxing, right? But she was tuned into this fight. The last fight that she watched that she really liked, man, I thought I got her hooked on it a little bit, was when it was not Francis Ngannou, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, the trilogy. So she really enjoyed that fight. She watched the Errol Spence, Terrence Bud Crawford fight. She was disappointed in that fight. So she didn't come and watch no fights with me for any time soon. But then we decided to watch this one. And I told her, I said, you're going to like Luis Alberto Lopez because his style is different. This was a one-sided fight, man. And it was a fight where, honestly, I don't know what you guys saw, but to me, Lopez looked kind of bored to me. Like it looked like he was just annoyed that Abe was moving around the ring like how he was. It looked like he was annoyed that the fight was lasting this long. He just looked like he was in there knowing that he was going to win this fight. And for me, I kind of had mixed feelings about it, man, because whenever you see someone really get hurt, whenever that eye is like that, and you can see his trainer rubbing and pushing up against the eye, I was like, this fight shouldn't go much longer. It shouldn't go much longer for safety purposes. But, man, what was very interesting was before the fight started, and I kept telling my wife, I'm like, man, anytime that Lopez wants to end the fight, like he can do just that. All he got to do is let his hands go enough so the ref can see it's going to be over with. And so he urged the crowd on, and then he just let off like a 6-7 piece combinations. And it's crazy because not all of those shots got through, but just the sheer variety and how Abe wasn't returning anything back, man. But again, and I tweeted this as well too. I said, because there's a lot of people always talking about Lopez's style. You can talk about his style. You can say it's sloppy. You can say whatever you want. But his style is tough for anyone, man. It's tough to plan for. It's tough to adjust to because you just aren't sure what it's going to look like or how he's going to come with letting his shots in or finding his openings, man. And so he's just an exciting fighter to watch and one of my favorites, man. Abe hit him with the left hand that sounded loud, but Lopez just ate it. Like it was one of the smoothest punches to the face and just shake it off that I've ever seen. I was like, this cat is feeling super confident right now, man. So that's my thoughts on it, man. One-sided fight. Abe, a lot of heart, a lot of determination, but man, Lopez did what he wanted to do in that fight whenever he wanted to do it. Okay, here we go. Joshua underdog, been listening to Brains of a Dead Fish. That's what they're saying, bro. That's what they're saying. They say Joshua is a massive underdog, man. Francis Ngannou gonna stop him. That's just what they're saying. And that I just don't see it like that. I guess we'll see on the night. Fury versus Francis was scripted for at Fight Entertainment. Man, first of all, man, what's going on, my man? Good to see you down here. Man, Chris has always said that Francis Ngannou, no, not Tyson Fury and Joshua fight is going to happen regardless. Biggest fight in the UK, going to happen regardless, man. Absolute beatdown, 100%. Lopez looked like he's doing everything wrong, but only he can make out he's doing everything right. You know, that is probably one of the truest statements that I've seen of Lopez, because he does a lot of things wrong, unconventionally, right? But then he does so many things right that it's hard to say, yo, don't do that. But it's like, yo, that's working. So it's like, do more of that. Yo, it's very interesting, man. Tim Bradley was saying they managed the eyebrows wrong, which was interesting. Man, like, I just did, like, the trainer pushed the knot. Like, I get what he was trying to do, but it just looked painful. It just looked painful. I don't know what he looks like post-fight, but man, it looked painful how he was doing it, man. So yeah, very interesting. I'm a big fan of your channel. What are your thoughts of boxing fights being fixed, rigged, and the possibility of boxing versus UFC fights being scripted to a degree? Appreciate you, man. First and foremost, I appreciate that. Man, honestly, man, I would not be surprised if more MMA, UFC cats come over to the boxing space of things, because it's money. All right. Look at Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou has the opportunity to beat AJ, but if he goes into this fight and he's 0-2, even at 0-2, if he loses 0-2, it's still his biggest paydays, and his name is going to be elevated that much more. So for me, an MMA UFC fighter coming over to boxing, especially if they have a name and a good reputation, man, they are, in the sense of things, especially if they get the top guys, man, like, they're winning, even if they lose. Boxing, it's harder. It's different for them, because if an MMA guy comes over and beats them, it's like, yo, this person wasn't so good. They're washed. It's a spectacle. So, man, I don't know, man. I just look at it as entertainment, right? At the end of the day, all these guys are athletes, and they're great athletes, and they're in the combat sport. And obviously anything can happen with a punch. It can change anything. But I just kind of look at it a little bit different, man. I see it as entertainment. And I kind of just keep it as that. I'm not saying that they can't come over and win, but if we really look at it, like, what was the first big one? Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, would you say? Right? And McGregor has some moments, but Floyd could have ended that fight whenever he wanted to, man. It's just different, man. So this is why it's interesting to me when Francis Ngannou is the favorite to beat AJ, because it's like, yo, are we letting the excitement of something kind of blind our delusion? I'm not saying Ngannou can't win, but if Fury came into that fight and actually prepared for that fight might have been a little bit different. I think so. I don't really get too high about it, bro. I just kind of stay in the middle. I just say it is what it is, man. Get your money as much as you can. Sell the story. Do what you got to do. Marcelo, what do you think of? Man, I don't know these cats off the top of my head, bro. I'm going to have to do some more research here, my man Duke, and get back to you, man. I'm going to check out these two and get back to you, man. If anybody knows more about these two, please throw it in the comments. Fury Josh only happens in Saudi. I remember you were saying that, man, payday, and I don't really see Fury fighting anywhere other than Saudi right now, man. I'm saying it now. If AJ loses to a boxing novice, the 0-1 boxer, AJ should retire straight away. I'm not playing said it when Fury fighting Ngannou. It's a farce. If a fight, AJ should be winning in 5 rounds. So, man, and that's the thing for me too, right? I'm just like, yo, yeah, AJ sometimes, you know, his little suspect with some things, chin-wise, but man, AJ, he's fought like everybody. Man, like, he's fought a bunch of these heavyweights that not a lot of people are fighting, man. So, you know, I'm expecting AJ to come in and win the fight. Like, simple as that. Mayweather was toying with that. You know, man, Money Mayweather knows how to put on a show. He knows how to put on a show, and I will give him that. Carrington sparred with Lopez. He didn't give details, but said Lopez is tough. It will take an elite boxer with the chin and power to beat Lopez. Colin is a nice boxer. Lopez just walked through. Absolutely, man. I don't even think, I'm trying to think of memory. I don't think Lopez has ever been dropped before either. Like, he's got an underrated chin. I think the only time that I've seen him flustered was when he fought Josh Warrington, because Josh Warrington's physicality was making things like he was annoyed and it got underneath his skin. So, yeah, interesting, man. Interesting. But I agree. Honestly, Lopez at 126, a lot of people are going to say, obviously it's different opinions, but a lot of people are going to say, man, that's the easiest title to get because he's so, he's not technically sound. But to me, that's one of the harder champion to take the belt from because of his unorthodox approach. It's one thing, man. Sometimes you might see someone and they'd be like, oh man, this guy is easy money. But then you go into the ring with them and you think you can handle it, and it's a whole different story. And I think that's what it's like fighting Lopez, right? Warrington got underneath the skin because, as I did that video, Warrington does some questionable things, you know what I'm saying? And if you watch Warrington, he does some questionable tactics and he gets underneath your skin, but it works. You know what I'm saying? It works. What's going on, man? Good to see you. What's your thoughts on upcoming IBF title? Henry LeBron, man. I'm taking Henry LeBron, man. I really like that cat. Man. He's been looking really good in his recent fights, man. I really like that dude. I got Henry LeBron, man. I'd have to go back and watch some more tape on Suarez's last fight. I remember I watched him a couple times, but I didn't think I saw his last fight. But LeBron, man, underrated, very talented, very skilled, man. I think he's the real deal. I do think he's the real deal. AJ doesn't have to open up to win by KO. I mean, Francis hits hard. He has the puncher's luck. I think AJ will stick to the basics and school Francis. I think it's possibly going to be kind of like when he fought Andy Ruiz the second time. AJ is going to take what's given to him, man. He's not going to be crazy about everything. You know what I'm saying? If the knockout is there, he's going to try to take that. But he knows, man, Ngannou can punch, and he can take a punch. So it's not going to be easy work, but AJ should win the fight. That's all I'm saying. Lopez completely derailed Colin's career in punch, man. Colin has not been the same since. You're right about that. Warrington can't stand him. Don't see, Chris, Warrington he's a god, man. He'll headbutt you if he has to. If that eye is swollen, he's going to put his forehead in that eye. Going to put that shoulder underneath you. Like the man's, and he does, and he gets away with it. So, you know what I'm saying, man? Henry LeBron, man. Give me Henry LeBron. Knockout chaos. I'm hyped that we're getting boxing this Friday. Yeah, there's also a fight in Canada on Thursday. I think Steve Rolls is headlining that one. Ngannou has powers punch, but for me, Joshua wins by wide margin, man. Those are my thoughts as well, too, my brother, man. So we're on the same pages here. Fury performance was embarrassing against Ngannou. He's lucky to get decision if you accept winning on points against on-one boxer. Oh, my days, then boxing is finished. Man, again, I just don't think that Fury came in really, really trained. Like, we saw what he looked like when he was supposed to fight Usyk. Man, he looked leaner, he looked stronger, he looked right. That's a training camp you're taking serious. Man, I saw that man. We saw that man walk out of the entrance against Ngannou, and you're just like, yo, what is this? Anyway, man, let's move forward. Let's right here. Let's go here. Wow, what a fight. What a fight. What did we think about this one? From a scorecards perspective, let's talk about from round 1 to 10 to 11. How did you guys score that? Did you have Kholmatov up? Did you have Ford up? What did you guys score that one when you're watching it? Because, man, the scorecards were very interesting on the judges' side, man. This was probably, in the comment section of this video, I mean, this was probably one of the most, I'm not going to say 50-50 fights, but it was probably about 60-40, right? 60% for OK, 40% for Ford, right? So this fight, man, this fight was very interesting to me, bro. And I was not expecting Ford to be on the front foot as much as he was. And for Kholmatov to be as big as a puncher as his record says, I was not expecting him to be on the back foot and boxing more in this fight. Like I thought it was going to be kind of the opposite. And when Kholmatov was the one on the front foot, letting his hands go a little bit, man, that's when I felt like he was having his success. Not saying he didn't do a good job boxing on the outside, because he did do a good job, right? But he just let Ford come forward on him. And when Ford was on that front foot coming forward, I was just like, yo, this is a different type of Ford that I'm accustomed to. Now, people were saying it was because of the weight drain. He didn't have his legs on him like that. And so it is what it is, right? But what I liked about this fight from both men was the information that their corners were giving them. Man, you know, Ford, you got to come forward, man. You got to back him up. Kholmatov, look, this is what he's trying to do. You got to go and do this. And I really like the dialogue between both corners and the adjustments that they were trying to make inside of the fight. Now, a couple things that we got to clear up. Someone said, I forgot who it was. Maybe it was one of the reporters after. Someone sent me this tweet and said, man, Kholmatov was fighting the second half of that fight on a torn ACL. And I was just like, man, you got to, check those sources a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because, I don't know if any of you have torn your ACL or any of those knee ligaments, but if you tear your ACL, man, you are not going to be able to move around and stand like that. Maybe it's an MCL. You can do a couple movement things with that, but not a torn ACL. You cannot apply pressure on that thing like that. So what this fight reminded me of was how it finished. We remember what happened to O'Shaquie Foster and Rocky Hernandez. Foster was down on the cards. He was frustrated. He was annoyed because he felt like he was getting cheated. I don't think Ford was getting cheated in this fight by no means, but he had to dig. That man had to dig in order to get the win in that fight. The last 15 seconds, that's a crazy turn of events. The interesting thing was, man, if Kholmatov said he got clipped and he needed time to recover, on paper, on the scorecards, if Kholmatov would have just took a knee, he would have won the fight. Scorecards, right? If he could have taken 2 knees and he possibly would have won that fight or got a draw. That's how wide some of those scorecards were, man. So it is much respect to Raymond Ford for how he was able to make the adjustments in the fight and how he was able to not let the moment be too big for him, right? The opportunity was there, and he found a way to seize the opportunity, coming to find out that he needed to get that stoppage in order to get the win. You just can't ask for more dramatics from more adjustments. That fight had everything. It had adjustments, it had power, it had aggression, it had a little bit of trash talking in it, it had dramatics. The one thing I didn't like about Ford, though, man, was there were moments when he would land a big shot to close out the round, and he had Kholmatov a little shaky at times, and he just kind of stood there and just talked to him. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Yo, the man is going to hit you. What are we saying? So all in all, man, I thought it was a great fight. Right now, that's #1 fight of the year for me as of right now. That fight had everything, man, and it had a great finish. It had a great finish. It needed a great finish. Shout out to both of these men, man. So, hey, probably not going to see a rematch, but great fight. Great fight. Great fight. Let's get to some of these comments, man. Let's get to see what some of you guys think, man. Shout out to Ford, though, man. Jersey, stand up, man. Jersey, stand up. I've been cheering on anyone who faces Josh Warrington, as I call him, not Warrington. Washington, not Warrington. Washington. That's hilarious, bro. That's hilarious, man. What were your thoughts on the stoppage between Ford and Kholmatov this past weekend? Good stoppage or bad stoppage? Man, his back was turned. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it is what it is. Like, I'm not gonna say it was a bad stoppage. I'm not gonna say it was I always are gonna sheer more towards the fighters protecting themselves. But I can understand why people say it was a bad stoppage. But man, you can't turn your back, right? And it looked like his knee kind of gave out a little bit, and that didn't help the case. But you know, he he should have took a knee. 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 I had Kholmatov up 106, 103 with no commentary. Again, I'm not mad at that, man. I felt like Kholmatov was much more volume-wise, more aggressive in the fight. We're talking about volume, but Ford, man. Hey, I like Raymond Ford on the front foot, baby. Give me him on the front foot all day, every day, man. That was, and some of the uppercuts that he was letting in from inside work. Again, I didn't really see too much of Ford on the inside. And so when I saw it, I was just like, yo, y'all were really taking training camp seriously, working on the craft. So now we added a little bit more dimension to it, man. So I was actually very impressed, actually, with both of these men. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I was impressed by both of these men. What a classic. I did not expect Ford stoppage at all. I said Ford on points. Kholmatov only way of winning was stoppage, but of course, Ford gets stoppage. I mean, I had Ford winning on points as well, too. I mean, this was what, 10, 15 seconds away from that being a reality, right? But it's interesting, right? Like, we always expect the puncher to be the one who's more aggressive, and then strategy comes and the game plan changes. I expected Ford to be on the outside a lot more, right? Using his athleticism and his jab to be able to get in and get out on his timing. But it was the complete opposite. Like, both men just flip-flopped. You know what I'm saying? And both men did a mix of both when they had to, but if we're watching it on the tape, you would have thought Ford was the bigger puncher. You thought Kholmatov was the boxer. So interesting dynamics, man. Big TJ in the house. What's going on, my man? What's going on, man? Me and TJ were talking about Ngannou and Joshua earlier today, man. So he got some thoughts as well, too. We're going to touch on that. Ford Kholmatov, one of the best fights I've seen. Man, I am with you on that. It had everything. It had a bit of everything. And isn't that what make a great fight? I'm someone, man, where I don't like lopsided fights. I don't like one-sided fights. I like guys going back and forth, making adjustments, man, seeing who is going to be able to outlast the other, right? And this was one of those fights that encapsulates that, what makes boxing so exciting. Even my wife, who doesn't watch a lot of boxing, was just like, yo, this is the best fight that I've ever seen. I'm like, yeah, let's do this again on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it again on Friday. Ford up there with Foster. Man, is it ever? Is it ever? Is it ever? That's man. Fight of the year. What's going on, Matthew G? Good to see you, man. Fight of the year 2024 as of right now. I had Kholmatov up by one round by round 12, but the momentum late in the fight was shifting towards Ford. Absolutely, absolutely. EJ, what's going on, man? Nick Ball first. 9 fighters have combined record of 113, 399, and 30. Hey, man, we gonna get there, my brother. We gonna get there, my man. EJ, you could speak your piece about Nick Ball. I know there's a lot of Nick Ball people in here, man. I like Nick Ball. Shout out to Nick Ball, man. This was a step-up fight for Kholmatov, but the public acted like it was the other way around. Great performance for Ford. You know what it is, man. I think sometimes fighters in other parts of the world, man, they come over, and you know, when you're fighting certain people, like, it's hard to say how good someone is until they fight someone that is really good. And to me, I was actually really impressed with Kholmatov. Yeah, he's a big puncher, but man, I thought he was actually a much better boxer in this fight than the punching power was on display to me, you know. So, you know, man, hopefully he doesn't get lost in the shuffle. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he gets some more fights because I think his style, man, I think he has a good style that's kind of entertaining. And what soccer, obviously, we call it football, and we got ACL injuries regularly. Man, I've seen, like, in so many different sports. Like, obviously, when adrenaline is in the mix as well, too, that adds things a little bit. But man, you know, it's just interesting, man. It's just interesting. I tore a ligament in my knee. I could not move my leg. No way. He was on a torn ACL, bro. Man, I tore my quad. Right, I tore my quad running, and if even running in general, but in track and field, there's a certain level of knee lift that you have to have. And every time I would lift my knee, it felt like somebody was like had a knife. And as soon as I was lifting my knee, they were just punishing the middle of my quad, and I couldn't even lift it. So it's interesting when you hear certain things like that. But a torn anything, man, is tough, right? Like fighters fracture their hands, and they don't throw that left hand. Gary Antoine Russell, man, hurt couldn't throw one hand. So torn and legs, knees, when you need that to move laterally, I don't know, man. Aside, do you think Ryan Garcia is trolling? Man, we're going to talk about that real quickly, bro. We're going to talk about that, man. Hold that thought. I also thought it was a good stoppage by the ref. The mistake Kholmatov made was that he turned his back in the corner. You never turn your back in boxing. 1,000%. The ref should have counted the first knockdown and gave Kholmatov a chance to break the count. He would have won that fight if that happened. 1,000%. Definitely would have got that win. He was up crazy on the cards, man. One of the best fights I've watched, to be honest. Really, really good fight for the fans, man. 1,000%. It had everything that we needed, man. It had everything that we needed. I hope Ford doesn't move up to 130 just yet. I hope he doesn't do it just yet. There's some great fights still in the division, man. Man, I've been hearing Ford talking crazy about O'Shaquie. I don't think he want that smoke with Foster, man. What's he been saying? He been talking crazy to Shock already? Oh, man, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Not Big Shock. Just good boxing in the first half. Kholmatov was effective. Ford gradually broke him down in the second half. He needed the KO, and he got it. Probably no rematch soon, but looking forward to their next fights. Man, 1,000%, Brother Francisco, man. I just hope that we get to see these guys sooner than later, man. There's so much momentum for the both of them right now. Their name is still in the mix of things, So I just hope that, unification fights happen next for Ford. And I hope that Kholmatov doesn't just get washed to the wayside, man, that he's able to come back and get busy. What's next for Luis Alberto Lopez and Ford? I think Ford wanting to step up to featherweight. I think Lopez's options, Espinoza, Ramirez, Villa. Man, I wouldn't be surprised if Lopez fights Villa next because of the history that they got. I'd love to see that. Man, honestly, man, I want to see a unification fight across the board in 126, man. I want to see an undisputed in 126, man, because those are some great fights. I would love to see O'Shaquie. You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing O'Shaquie Ford. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Or I want to see Lopez go and get another belt. And I want to see O'Shaquie go and get another belt. Maybe Shock and Espinoza. And then, we could see Lopez go get the belt from Ford, whether Ford gets the belt from Lopez. And then we can see, I want to see Shock and I want to see Lopez. I want to see Shock. I want to see Ford. So, but I'm not sleeping on Espinoza, man. But I think he's got the rematch with Robezi to see if, how that one goes. But I want to see 126. I want to see the division. I want to see it unified. I want to see one champ hold all the belts, man. Jay, man, appreciate that, my brother. Appreciate that generosity, man. All love and respect, my brother. I really do appreciate that. I don't take it for granted, man. Eric R., what's going on, baby? What's going on, man? Good to see you, man. He on fight. I'm gonna have to check this out, man. I didn't know. I thought they were cool. No, did I make that up? I thought Ford and Shock were kind of cool. I badly pulled my quad, but still finished a flag football game, and then I was out. So don't see Kholmatov fighting on a torn ACL. Man, we are all on the same page in that one, man. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Best fights that doesn't involve UK fighters. I've said this, and that's all I'm saying before people call me negative UK fan and get knickers in the twist. Man, for those, like, Chris is one of the most honest guys, especially over in the UK, man. He be calling it like it is, man. So when he says this about UK fighters, man, gotta respect it because he's been steady with this as well too. But Ford said the weight cut was tough on him, so that's why he presumably. Yeah, but money talks. If the price is right, he gonna unify. If the price is right. I hate the negative view these promoters have on rematches. Some of the greatest fights of all trilogies. Nothing is better than fights that build themselves up. 1,000%, man. I personally like certain rematches, man. Like for example, since we're gonna be talking about it a little bit here, like the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fights, I liked all of them, and I wanted to see all three of them because it was a great fight. It lived up to all the hype to me every time. So I don't mind rematches, man. As long as it's not too one-sided. If it's completely one-sided, man, that's a tough one to sell. But if it's kind of 50-50 or they got the little edge by a little bit, but I don't mind rematches at all one bit. Hearn wants Ford to stay at featherweight. Unify while Ford wants to move up, but that's promoters always said they don't care about the fighters, man. And we'll see. We'll see. I want him to stay, but of course, if the money is right, he's gonna stay. If it's not right, man, he's gonna move up. If a certain weight is hard to make, it is what it is. If you care about your fighter, you gotta protect them for the long term. Let's move forward, man. Let's move forward. But again, Ford, Kholmatov, fight of the year as of right now. In March 5th, 2024, fight of the year as of right now. Great fight. It had everything, man. Loved it. Amanda Serrano versus Nina Menke. Fight canceled. Thoughts. So I'm getting ready to watch this fight, right? So Jake Paul is out there, and Jake Paul's, man, I don't even remember who was fighting. That guy he was fighting was a complete punching bag. He got punched up. And so I'm like, okay, cool. That fight's done. And then I'm just like, yo, who is this lady in the hoodie? Because she had her glasses on. She had the hood up. I'm like, yo, Amanda, what are you doing? He's supposed to be, where's your gloves? I'm saying, like, where's the gloves? And so I'm not really fully paying attention because I'm trying to hear the post-fight interviews of Ford. I'm trying to see that. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Oh, they're not actually fighting. And then it goes that she wasn't able to fight because the judge, the refs didn't clear her. The official didn't clear her because she had some gel in her eye. Now, it was just an interesting situation, man. Look, Amanda Serrano is a Hall of Fame boxer, man. She's going to go down the Hall of Fame when her career is done. But, man, this is a tough one to swallow when you think of just her. You're right. It's in Puerto Rico. Heritage, the family, the story of it, the makings of it. You have every single buddy coming down to see the fight. It's your second 12-round fight, 3 minutes, continuing to add to the history of everything. And then it goes like this. So what do you guys think about that, man? Do you think she could have toughed it out and got into the ring and to just go? Because this happened the day before. And someone said, I don't understand why this fight was canceled or why it even went, because if this happened to her the day before, then why did she go to the weigh-ins? And I was just like, oh, yeah, that's an interesting point, right? So what did you guys think about it, man? But part of it too was just like, yo, if we knew this was going to be the outcome, why did Jake Paul fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not call out the whole thing? But it is his promotion. It is his, I'm not going to say it's his card, but he's a big part of the reason putting it on. So this was just an interesting situation, man. I feel bad for Serrano because all of the work that they do and everybody, man. And I'm sure, and she said it, if I remember correctly, she was willing to fight even with everything happening. And it's just tough. It's just tough to see stuff like that, man. So I'm sure that she wanted to fight, but how it ended, man, a tough one for her, but glad that everybody still got to keep their purse. They still got their money. And everybody's getting a refund that went to the fight. But, man, MVP Promotions taking a massive, massive hit with that one, bro. Massive, massive hit with that one. Okay. I find it interesting that Hearn says he believes in Ford, but let Top Rank win the purse bid. Hey man, Hearn, he's trying to disperse how he spends his money. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul, Cat Weezer's opponent was probably a man who just eats. Man, that man was bad. He was bad. Yeah, he was bad, bro. It was bad. She said she wanted to fight regardless of the gel in her eye. Yeah, man, it was and just unfortunate, bro. Just unfortunate. You spend all this time in training camp to get to this fight, and then the fight doesn't go. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunate, man. Pablo, what's going on, big dog? What's going on, man? Good to see you. I always appreciate you taking the time to tap in all the way over from Chile, my man. Appreciate you taking the time, man. I feel so bad for her, man. The fans booing also made me feel bad for her. Yeah, but sometimes you just got to give him the benefit of the doubt, man, because Amanda Serrano, to me, has proven that if there is a way for her to fight, she is going to fight. She doesn't back down. But just not a good look. It's just not a good look. You pay all that money to see Amanda Serrano and the fight's canceled. He didn't pay all that money to see Jake Paul fight. No disrespect to Jake Paul, but you're not Serrano, man. Was Serrano fight? Yeah, it was 12 rounds. Her second 12-round, 3-minute fight. Menke's first 12-round, 3-minute fight. That wasn't able to happen, obviously. That would have broke Vegas if something had happened to her. Yeah, 100%. 100%, man. Hearn says a lot of things. That is a fact, my brother. Does he ever? After the push down in the 12th round, sounds before the stoppage, you could see Kholmatov came up and was nursing his heel. He lost his footing and his back turned. They should have given him a standing 8. Yeah, coulda, shoulda, man. You know how it is, man. You know how it is sometimes, man. But if he would have taken a knee, he would have won that fight. But it is what it is. How can we say Mecca Taylor got robbed versus and Kholmatov wasn't? I don't know what to tell you, man. Refs call. His back was turned, and as the refs always do, the call is the call. I don't have a problem with the stoppage, but I don't also see it like if he would have taken a knee, that would have been cool as well. If he would have taken a knee and he would have got the win, that wouldn't have angered me as well too. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Amanda at the end of her career, she should have 1 or 2 fights, then call it in. I thought I read somewhere where she wants to still do a little bit of MMA. I don't know if that's correct or not, but I feel like she still wanted to do that. I have all respect for Serrano, all-time Hall of Famer, first woman to push for 12 rounds, and told WBC boxing, world boxing clowns to do one. Man, I got respect and love for Amanda, bro. Same as you. Big Henry, what's going on, my man? We did it with the Ford pick, bro. Yeah, man. Shout out to Big Ford, man. But I gotta say, Kholmatov was much better than I thought that he was going to be. Shout out to Kholmatov. But shout out to Big Ford, man. Way to go and earn the belt. They always say if you want to take the belt, you got to beat the champ. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. He definitely did that. Those who didn't like the stoppage lost money on the fight. Oh man. Big Lionel, what's going on, man? Well, man, Eric R says if Shakur leaves Top Rank, he might need to look Jake Paul's way. I thought the same about Teofimo too when his contract expires. Man, that would be very interesting. But that would definitely be Jake Paul's biggest signing, and they probably make a whole bunch of money on top of it as well too. I won 500 on 4 12-round stoppage. Yeah, I heard those live numbers were going crazy. Heard they were going crazy. So that's what's up, man. That's what's up, EJ, man. That's what I'm talking about, big dog. Thoughts on Floyd Schofield possibility against Ford? I don't see that one happening anytime soon, man. Schofield is fighting this month, but they don't have an opponent, and I think that I like Floyd Schofield, but man, I don't think he's there just yet to fight for it. I don't see that one happening, at least not right now, man. But let's keep it pushing, man. Let's keep it pushing. Let's go here. Man, what are you guys' thoughts on this whole situation involving Ryan Garcia? Man, this is some crazy stuff that's been going on, bro. Like, I'm not going to go from the mental side of things for me personally. I'm going to go, and for those who don't know, I'm going to try to talk about a little bit of it off memory. His phone got taken, he's saying, and then all of a sudden some weird stuff was being posted, some weird stuff was being said, and then he said today, he got taken and wrapped up, and they had him tied up, and he saw something from Bohemian Grove, and he saw kids getting raped and this and that, and he was, man, it was a lot, a bunch of different things, bro. What do you guys think about this? To me, I think I'm not going to go from the mental side, man. I'm going to go of the sense of like, man, the pressure. I think the pressure is making him, I think he's looking for a way out, but I don't think he wants to pull out of the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's looking for some other reason for it not to happen, because, and I also question too, man, like the love of boxing for Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know if it's that high. Correct me if I'm wrong in this, but I've heard him say years back that he only wants to fight to a certain age. Maybe it's like 27 or 28. And he's almost like there. I think he's 24, 25 years old. And so when I look at all of this stuff happening, to me, it's like, for whatever reason, it seems like he doesn't want to take the fight, man. So I just want to come out here and get your guys' thoughts about it, man. If he is going through a mental health situation and he's kind of, and some of this, hey, if someone believes something strongly enough, it could be true. This whole situation, it could be true. We don't fully know. You know what I'm saying? But if this is his way of trying to sell the fight, this is a crazy way to go about it, bro. Wow, it's crazy stuff, my guy. Crazy stuff. And if this fight does go to actually make it April 20th, tell you right now, I like Devin Haney by stoppage. I like Devin Haney by stoppage, man. But just wanted to come on here and get your guys' thoughts. Do you still think this fight is going to make it there? All right, let's go. Here we go. People should not call him crazy. I've watched many documentaries about the things Ryan is talking about. Man, that's the thing as well, too. It's like, for me, until I see the news, until I see the facts, I'm not going to say anyone's talking any type of crazy. So I'm not going from the mental health side of things, but this all sounds crazy. And he says he's got these facts, he's got these things. And I'm just like, if you have all these things, let's see it. Let's see it, Ryan, because no one's going to believe you until you show the proof. That's just the way how it works. That's just the way how it is. So all the stuff that he's saying, man, there may be some truth to it, but when you're looking at it from the external outside of things, this is a judgmental world. And if you don't have the facts to back up what you're saying, people are going to say, you're moving crazy. So I don't know what the case is. Only he knows, and those around him who know a little bit more. But again, I don't want to stray too far off. But if this is how he is trying to sell the fight and get people to talk about the fight, I'm not saying it's the right way to go about it, but people aren't even talking about the fight anymore. They're talking about him. Is that the way to go about it? I don't know. I'm not a promoter. I'm not in his head. I'm not in the boxing scene to be fighting. So, we'll see if the fight is called off, man. Again, as I said, if he is trolling, if he's trying to sell the fight, if this is a way of marketing it, that's a crazy way to go about it, man. That's a crazy way to go about it, because it's not looking like Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. It's looking like, Ryan Garcia what the heck is he on? Is he even mentally right for it? So the fight isn't really getting built up like that. It's just, yo, Ryan, what are you doing? So that's my two thoughts on it, man. I think this fight is off soon. Honestly, man, I wouldn't be surprised. I had doubts on it on paper happening due to Ryan Garcia, and now I've came to conclusion it's not happening. People, sorry to disappoint, man. You got a massive statement here, bro, because it would from the outside looking in, from even casual fans who may not know much about boxing, just coming in, they probably are going to say the same thing, and you might be right, man. I'm gonna look at the Ryan has run out of ways to promote the fight. Asa could be a strong possibility as well too. Ryan Garcia needs major help, man. Some of the stuff he was saying, man, I'm just like, bro, like where? And then he's trying to fight Jake Paul as he's trying to fight Jake Paul when he's supposed to be focusing on Devin Haney. Why are we worried about Jake Paul? I'm saying, so the focus is all over the place, man. I got here just in time. What's going on, my man? Good to see you as always, man. Ryan needs to stay away from boxing. He's a liar and a drama queen, and he's looking for a way out of this butt whooping Haney about to give to him. Man, that's the thing about Devin Haney, man, is he is a true professional when it comes to this thing. And Devin Haney, man, I thought I read somewhere where he lost his grandmother as well, too. So he's battling some stuff as well, too. You know what I'm saying? But the other thing, too, man, is like Ryan Garcia grew up in the public eye, right? Like, he came off as this title as his social media fighter, and he always had fast hands. He always a guy who could punch, all these different things. But everything that he has done is kind of in the spotlight from a very young age. He had a massive following from a young age. And it's just like, man, you don't need to publicize everything. Yeah, just interesting, man. Interesting. I think he's lying in all honesty, man. Hey, man, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens, man. But again, this is a world where you just never know, man. I've been hearing a lot of stories from people about, for example, like Harvey Weinstein, right? And all of the stuff about him. And the people who went against him were going crazy. And then when things came to light, situations happened. So if he has proof, the point to I say that, if he has proof of all of these things, he gonna need to prove it, or people are just gonna think, you're having a crisis again. You know what I'm saying? Because he's saying a lot. Popular people get roped into dark, and simply because of the influence, man, power is a crazy drug, bro. Power is a crazy drug. 30. He said on the Breakfast Club, oh, he upped it a little bit. I thought it was in his late 20s. J-Man, much love for that 5, my brother. Much love and appreciation. I appreciate you, bro. Do you think Ryan is worth taking serious at this point? The dude is at 500 plus 500. Man, I don't see how he beats Devin Haney, bro. I just don't see it. I don't know, man. I would take like rounds. Like I would say the fight goes the distance before I say Devin Haney Ryan Garcia gonna win this fight. He's not even making how hard is he training? Like if he is trolling, like there's all these different things, man. So nah, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I don't see Ryan Garcia winning this fight. You need a stronger support group. And you need to invest your money into a better team to get you to the goal. That's always one of the things, man. Who you surround yourself with is always, always, always massive, man. Again, if he has stuff that is true, you got to be able to back up what you're saying. So if he has these things on his phone, man, you got to prove it, man. Nah, Devin's cooking measly, man. I'm thinking the same thing. I've always said the fight happens. Haney stops him with these. Garcia is a quitter. I don't even know where. And even Bill Haney said this when he was on the Is What It Is podcast. Man, he said, with fighting with Ryan Garcia, he said he has unconventional ways of creating headlines. He says we're a little frustrated, but we're not rattled. A little frustrated that all the stuff that he's doing, but we're going to come in prepared. We're going to go and get the job done. If Ryan is creating all these stories to sell the fight, that would be very mean. He would be playing with people and families who have suffered from consequences of mental illness. That's the thing. If he is lying or whatever the case is, until we know, we can't fully say that we know the whole thing. So I'm going to give him a little benefit of the doubt in that aspect until otherwise. But if this is, again, going back to this fight, if it's going to be on, if this is how he's selling the fight, man, it's just not a good look. It's just not a good look. If Garcia is trolling, it's a whack way of trolling. If he's really having a breakdown, get him help. Unfortunately, his credibility isn't good, so not sure what to believe. And this is also the type of stuff that carries over as well, too. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a very interesting, man. I don't know, man. I hope he's okay, and he's just looking for a way out of the sport. And I've kind of, like, I respect Garcia in the sense of, man, like I really think he wants those big fights. Like, I really think genuinely, I think he wants to fight the top guys, right? He showed it against Tank, and now he took a fight against Devin Haney. So it goes to show he wants to take those fights. He wants to be in those big fights. But man, maybe he's under a lot of pressure, man. I don't know. Again, I'm going to hold back from saying the mental health part of things, man. But again, crazy way to promote this fight, man. Going to market himself right. Come on, Jay, man. It's a serious topic, man. You're trying to make me laugh. Bro. My man EJ says we should be concerned about him as a human at this point. Kid Rock was just on Joe Rogan talking about the Bohemian Grove. That place is infamous. All men meeting in woods with the giant owl and effigies. Man, I've heard so many stories about the Bohemian Grove, man. So many different things. I think there's a little bit of truth to everything. It's just who is telling the truth. Barbosa is plan B. Haney, Barbosa is a good fight. Barbosa is actually a better overall fighter than Garcia. I agree with that. Maybe we see that. Zhang Parker. Is Zhang getting the KO? Man, hold this thought, bro. We're going to talk about that actually next. But let's finish up these past couple comments, man. And then Pradeep, we're going to get back to this right here, man. We're not going to lose that thought right there. I just don't understand the anxiety for this fight. 100% expected him to pull out of the Tank before he'd pull out a Haney fight. It's literally a 12-round sparring unless Ryan catches him. Yeah, man. After he fought Tank, like, I gained more respect for Garcia, even though he lost the fight, because he took the fight and he went in there and tried to win the fight. He didn't try to lay down, try to take the fight to him. And it's just like, man, Devin Haney is not the puncher like Tank is. Yeah, you might get bruised up a little bit. You might get touched up a little bit, but you're not going to take a beating like you would against Tank. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Garcia needs help with health. For me, in my eyes, all he is a social media fighter and a money fighter, while Haney actually cares about legacy. Yeah, Haney going to fight anybody, anywhere. We have to consider some of the people talking with the type of news it is. Yeah, man. But again, those are just my thoughts. I want to get your guys' perspective on what you think is all happening with that situation. Because, it's just an interesting thing to me. And not interesting in a whole bunch of different ways. And I don't even know if it's good yet. But let's move forward, man. Let's talk about some of the fights that's happening this weekend. My man Pradeep said Zhang by KO. It is a tough fight for Zhang. I think he's going to win by KO. I'm going to stand on the prediction that I made, but it's not going to be easy. I don't think Zhang is going to be able to just walk through Parker, but these are all speculations. It could happen, but I'm not expecting it to happen, man. I think Joe Parker's got a lot of momentum right now. It seems like he's caught like a second wind in his career. He's looking good. They're going to come in with a great game plan as they did for Deontay Wilder. They've seen Zhang's strength. They're going to try to neutralize him. It's just, can he execute the same way? The difference in this one for me is Zhang and Wilder. Wilder was so hesitant, he didn't even let his hands go to like the last round. Zhang is going to let those hands fly, and it isn't letting those hands fly. If he's not careful, he could get clipped and could get in danger. So I'm still going with Big Bang by stoppage. But if the stoppage, I'm thinking rounds 9 to 12 for me. It's going to be a very interesting fight, man. But I think Parker. I don't think it should be an upset if people think that Parker can beat Zhang. I don't think it's an upset. I think right now the confidence that he's fighting with, the belief, the determination, and how he's been able to execute what he's doing, man. I mean, right now he's got a lot of momentum in his favor. So that's my thoughts on that. What do you guys think about these fights right here this weekend? I've kind of gave my 2 cents about it, obviously, in the breakdown videos, but you guys let me know a little bit about what you think. Did anything change for you guys as this fight is going to approach? Let's talk about it right here. What I will say is massive. Something that kind of surprised me a little bit is the amount of Vargas ball. Man, it's been like I would have thought that Vargas was going to be the favorite. Not going to lie. Someone sent me the odds the other day, and I was just like, "Whoa, that's a nice little odd right there." So it seems like Nick Ball is generating a lot of momentum and belief coming into this fight. And man, as I said, man, that man is like a Wolverine inside of the ring, man. He is aggressive. He can punch. He's explosive. But this is a step up fight for him. If he can pull it off and if he can make a statement, man, the Nick Ball era is here, So I like Nick Ball. I'm wishing all these cats the best. I'm looking forward to a very, very exciting weekend of fights. All right. Let's see what you guys think, man. Let's see what you guys think. Tate, last little bit here. Alex Jones in there, and that's everyone you need to misunderstand world's events. Yeah, man. Even, I saw some of the Spaces stuff. Even Andrew Tate was just like, yo, you want to be careful of what you're saying, Ryan, because if you don't have any proof, so even Andrew Tate was just like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see if it all comes out. Excited for Zhang fight. Zhang's weakness is gas tank. He can tire out second half of the fight. Absolutely. But when he fought Hrgovic, Hrgovic looked way more tired than Zhang. But what I like about Zhang in that fight when he fought Hrgovic, even though he was tired, he was still trying to mix it up a little bit there and at least throw something. Deontay Wilder threw like barely anything. At least I know Zhang is going to at least let the hands go a little bit. I'm sticking with Parker, 10th round, Parker. Lee have a plan. Absolutely. I believe that they will. Haney was about legacy. That died in 135 to me. Legacy fighters shift focus to next champion in their division. Haney talking about 135 and 147 when he's at 140. Yeah, he's probably trying to take all the belts as much as he can. 147, bro, like that used to be such an exciting division. That used to be like the marquee division, the welterweights, but it's just like, it's kind of like died down a little bit, man. We haven't seen Boots fight in so long. I forgot what the man looks like. You know what I'm saying? He's having troubles getting to fight. I saw this interesting thing on Twitter, and I want to get your guys' thoughts about it. It was talking a comparison. I think Floyd was saying, man, Boots needs a fight. And if he's not going to get the Bud fight, he's got to get somebody else. If Bud isn't going to fight Spence in the rematch and is having issues, then Bud got to fight Boots just to see it. And then someone commented and said, man, the difference between Crawford and Floyd is giving the younger fighters opportunities, because Floyd fought Canelo at a young age and all these different guys. And I was like, that's a very interesting statement. I don't believe any fighter is obligated to fight anybody if they don't want to. But it was just an interesting statement that I read. What do you guys think about that, man? Do you think Bud should just say, yo, You're not getting Spence doesn't want to fight, or the rematch isn't happening. We should fight Boots. Like, just as we're just talking about it, since my man Eric talked about 147, that just came to mind. So what do you guys think about that, man? What do you guys think about that? J Dap, what's going on, man? What's going on, man? Good to see you, man. Thank you for taking the time to tune in, man. Always, always, always love, man. Appreciate you taking the time, man. Appreciate that. You know, it's always love, man. Coming off that win against Wilder is good for Parker. The best thing, absolutely, the best thing for his confidence from a mentality standpoint. I'm feeling good, feeling on top of the world right now. And when you feel good, more times than not, you fight good. You know what I'm saying? My man Lights Out. Man, this is interesting. My man Lights Out he's been Mexican fighters heavy. That's where your support always goes, bro. I'll be seeing you in the comments, bro. I'll be seeing you in the comments. You support your Mexican fighters, man. So this is very, very interesting, man. But I'm not mad at it. I can understand why people are picking Nick Ball. I think he has an opportunity of a lifetime. And if he capitalizes on this opportunity, as I said, that Nick Ball era, hey, man, it's here to stay. And what an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? What an accomplishment that would be for him. You going through the world and people are always writing you off because of the stature, and to go in and to get a title, man, that would just be a great storyline as well too. But Vargas is no joke, man. Vargas not been active for a year. I honestly think ball is too much for him. As much Mexicans are tough, I worry about Vargas' inactiveness. So 7th round ball. Not mad at that 1,000%, man. If Vargas was active, man, you know what's funny, man, is Amzat Hovhannissian gave Vargas a tough fight. That was after a year layoff, and he came on strong. He fought Mexeo with a year layoff, almost got himself in trouble and got clipped, but he found a way to win the fight. I'm not saying that this is going to be the same outcome, right? But to me, it's like he can handle the layoff. He's gotten away with it twice before. Can he do it again a third? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But one thing about Nick Ball, man, is if you let that man get on the inside of you, man, he gonna let them hands fly. And he gonna be right there in your face. Joseph Parker, having Andy Lee in his corner has done wonders for his last fight, but I think this fight with Zhang will show us if having Andy is enough to compete at the elite level again. If Parker wins this fight, I think it puts him, for the winner of Fury and Usyk. Like, it has that type of magnitude of it, man. So looking forward to seeing how this one does unfold, man. Parker, as I said again, he's caught a second win. He's got a second win. It's a high stake, high rewards, man. It's going to be a great fight. Damn, I forgot Davino number 4. Appreciate that 5 again, my brother, man. I appreciate that, man. Vargas has been out for a year. Do we think he'll be a factor against a pressure fighter like Nick Ball? Man, again, as I said, bro, like, I've seen Vargas take years off, but kind of about the similar time, and come back and start a little bit slow, but find his groove into the fight. He did that against Hovhannissian, and did that against Mark Mexeo. And I personally think Mexeo is a bigger puncher than Ball, and they kind of have the similar explosiveness again. It could work in his favor as history has shown, or it could work against him this fight. Every fighter is different. The game plan is different. So we'll see. But me, based on the history of what I've seen of Vargas, I'm gonna lean towards getting the benefit of the doubt and say the inactivity, while it might make him start a little bit slower, he'll start his groove. He'll find his groove, but also Nick Ball is going to make him try to fight right away. So it'll be interesting, tit for tat, how we see this one unfolds, man. Lorena is a bottle job. He bottled it against Dubois. When Dubois was there for taking Haney, will beat Lorena easily. Yeah, man. I think Haney is a great opportunity for him, man. And I think he's going to box his way to victory. But, stranger things has happened. I never would have thought Lorena was going to drop Daniel Dubois. So that's interesting as well, too. Bud needs to drop the belts, man, and move up or fight Boots. It's not cool to hold the division hostage while talking about guys in the higher classes. Man, um, we always talk about inactivity, and we also always gotta hold everybody to the same standard as well, too. At least I have always tried to do. We haven't seen Bud in a while. We haven't seen Tank in a while. There's a bunch of big names that we haven't seen in a while. That's why I respect Devin Haney, because he gonna try to fight as much as possible, and I respect Canelo. Even though Canelo is not gonna give us the fights that we want to see, at least he's getting in the ring to fight. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like to see any of the big names step out of the scene for so long and not get into the ring, because we want to see you, right? We want to see you. It's one of the biggest knocks against Keith one-time Thurman is the man just doesn't fight, right? Obviously, there's always contractional things that he's talked about and said, but we want to see one time. We want to see you, Bud. Like, we want to see you, right? We want to see these cats fight. And so that's just the thing, man. It when they don't fight, it does make things backwards. We haven't seen Boots in a while. I don't know when we're going to see Boots next. I haven't heard of any type of a fight for Boots. I don't know when we're going to see him next, man. So, man, I got 250 on AJ winning on points to win. Yo, that's big money. Dang, is Ngannou favored like that? Yo, that's crazy. Well, I guess both of these guys probably, they're expecting them to be stopped, both of these men. So that's probably why points is probably so high. But yo, that's a nice amount of change right there, man. Woo! It's a nice amount of change right there. Thoughts on Peter? What's going on, man? Thank you for stopping by. Thoughts on Dillian White being cleared? I saw that. Man, Dillian White, man. I honestly, bro, I don't really have too much thoughts on it, man. And Dillian White is from where I was born, man, Jamaica. So I got a soft spot for Jamaica because that's where I was born, right? So I always got a soft spot for Jamaican athletes, period. But man, yo, Dillian White, bro. Come on, man. We gotta tighten up. And boxing, man. It seems like people move the goalposts for certain things. In track and field, you get caught with something one time, it's over with. So let's move forward, man. Let's move forward. Cool down segment. For those that who have been tuning into the show each week, you know what the cool down segment is about. As we wind down towards the end of the show, any questions, any topics, anything that you guys want to talk about, man, let's talk about it right here. The other thing that I wanted to do as well, too, I got it somewhere here. Last week, a bunch of people were asking me about the Olympic medal, and I do have it. So we're want to show you guys that real quick. But before we do that, so like the medal came in a box, it came in a box. It said Rio 2016, blah, blah, blah. And it's like a wooden box, very beautifully carved, craved out. And I remember when I came home, I gave it to my little sister to kind of open it, and she opened it up too fast and she broke the box. So I got it in this blue little bag right here. It's an Adidas bag, but when I was sponsored by Puma, you can't wear no other brand, right? So I had to mark that off since the package was broken. So again, real quick, this is the medal from Rio right here. That's the front of it. That's the back of it. Man, I don't even know who this person is. I don't know why they're on this like that, but but yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. And this is the band that it comes with. Yeah, so that's what it is. I got some other questions as well, too, that I did not get to answer from last week. But let's start in the chat first before we move over to the other side. Let's see. Spence comeback fight versus Boots. What do you think? Nah. Nah, man. I would be very, very, very surprised if that's a fight that Spence takes for a comeback fight against a young, hungry bull like Boots. That would be very surprising. I would gladly watch it, but I don't know, especially coming off the eye surgery. Yeah, I don't know, my man. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not welcoming White back. He's failed 3 separate tests in different years in past. How many chances does he want? But boxing don't care about failed drug tests. Always been the case. Man, there are athletes in track and field, man, that they got caught with. I know a guy that got caught with some cream, right? Some cream that you put on and it's supposed to help your body recover faster. And he got 4 years, right? And it was a massage therapist that put on the cream. He didn't ask the right questions. He still got to take accountability for it, but he got 4 years. So boxing is very interesting when it comes to that stuff, man. Again, people move the goalpost. White done it at the right way. He actually cleared himself, unlike Conor Benn. Yeah. Man, I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Truly, truly, truly do. Dangerous fight right there. Absolutely. My man is talking about Spence and Boots. White smelling this. I see if I would do Bois, that would not be crazy opponents right there. That's probably a fight where we're going to see him next. Man, remind me how old Dillian White is. What is he, like 30, 35, 36 years old? I don't think he has much time left. He's got a couple more fights left in him, but maybe him and Joyce. Maybe him and Joyce. 1000%, man. How do you feel about the Canelo situation with him leaving PBC, going to Matchroom, and now apparently going back to PBC? And who do you think? And do we think he's ducking Benavidez? That's always an interesting topic, man. Whenever we bring up the name Canelo, the reason why he can get away with all of this stuff and kind of maneuver how he wants to maneuver is because the man sells fights. You know what I'm saying? Like internationally, like that's a cat that people know. You hit the name Canelo Alvarez, like people know him. So if you can get a Canelo fight, that's a big payday for whichever company he's with and for the fighter. People are going to watch. So that's why, to me, Canelo can go and maneuver however he wants to and fight whoever he wants to because he knows people are going to watch, especially his people back home, right? So I don't know, man. I kind of just took Canelo's name with a grain of salt and just expect to see him with whomever that they think is best. And it's going to be not the fight that we expected to, but man, I think honestly, I think the more he waits and tries to maybe age out Benavidez a little bit, the more it makes the fight tougher for him. I think he should fight Benavidez now, like right this time, because Benavidez, he's only going to get better and he's showing that he's going to continue to improve. So for me, I'm like, yo, don't wait till this guy continues to get better and better and better. Yo, fight him now because there's still holes in David Benavidez's style. So why wait till he gets better? You'll fight him now. So I don't really put too much stock into the Canelo, man. I don't even really get caught up in the whole sweepstakes stuff. Whatever it is, when we see him, we see him. Whoever he's with, we see it. But I don't know. I don't know, man. It's a good question, though. Quick search says it's the Greek goddess Nike on the medal. Man, the Greek goddess Nike. I knew it had something to do with Greek, but thanks for that, man. I never even thought about Googling that. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. Why 35? I know he was somewhere up there. Why do people still think Canelo is ducking if Benavidez's team is the one lying about the contracts? Man, tell me a little bit more about this, man. Again, as I said, I did not even take too much play into it when it comes to the back and forth contract stuff, man. I did see one thing though, and I did agree with it. I was watching, I was in the gym listening to the Boxing Voice, and they were saying that Benavidez was not agreed upon in the contract as the third fighter. It was supposed to be somebody else, and then they tried to put David Benavidez in there, and they're like, "Yo, the contract didn't say his name, right? If it said his name, we'd have to negotiate for a bigger prize." So, I don't know what the situation is, man. But I personally think if the money is really right, like really, 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 really right, I think they can make that fight happen, man. It's hard to pass up a lot of money, especially Canelo. Canelo lives a pretty extravagant life, it seems like, man. So Andy Ruiz will fight in Saudi card this year, in my opinion. Man, I have not heard that name in a while, my man Chris. Like I haven't seen. I asked about him a couple weeks back. I'm like, yo, where is this guy? Is he still boxing? Did he retire? Yo, I hope so. I hope he is back, man. I hope he is back. Pablo says, what are your favorite movies related to boxing? Obviously Rocky, Hurricane is another one. I like the first two Creeds. Man, there is this old school movie. It's not completely boxing. It's like boxing and martial arts, and it's about this guy. He's a Russian guy, and he's like trapped in jail, and he's trying to get out of jail. And the way how he's able to get out of jail is like elimination, and he has to fight the strongest guys in the jail in order to like get a key to open up another door. I forgot the name of it. It's not a popular movie, but it was one of my favorites because it was like elimination fighting. But man, yeah, Hurricane, one of my favorites, man. I like all the Rocky movies, Creed, and a bunch of ones that I'm missing as well too. Good question, man. Wow, what do you from L? Thanks for sharing that, bro. I was a little behind my connection. Oh no, it's all good, bro, man. First of all, I appreciate that. I know a lot of people were showing me or asking about it, man. So I wanted to show it. If it's freezing for those that may come in, because a lot of people ask me about it, man. I just want to show it again. Again, moving forward, man, it would be as the channel continues to grow and, more resources come in, I'd love at some point, much further down the road where, we can travel with the show and we can all get together in the same room and just watch the fights and talk about the fights and talk boxing. As the channel grows, we'll get a team, man. We'll get some food, all that good stuff. I got future plans, man. I got future plans. So bear with me, though. Canelo is definitely ducking. I can understand why you definitely will say that, as a lot of people say that. PBC wanted Canelo to fight Charlo. They don't care about Benavidez. They didn't involve him in the contract. Yeah. Charlo, the hospital bed model is not acceptable for Canelo. Oh, man. Charlo, been a rough year for the Charlo brothers, man. Munguia will be a good fight. I don't see him quitting and go down the Shield. Yeah, Munguia is going to make that man fight, and it's going to be fireworks. But we'll see if it happens. I don't think Munguia is ready for Canelo yet personally, but I don't think he would be intimidated by Canelo. I have no issues with both of these right here. Do you think Joshua is fighting Hrgovic after Ngannou to try to get the IBF mandatory for him and get a shot after the undisputed fight? Man, that's a very interesting move, man. I think that's a possibility, or he might fight the winner of Zhang Parker. I think that could be something as well too. Or he might swing far right and we might see AJ and Deontay Wilder, because that's a big fight as well too. Puncher versus puncher. There are certain fights that people still want to see, that we want to see, that still might happen, right? So yeah, that's a good question, man. That's a good question. That's a really good question. Where can we buy the book? How do I become a member as well too? Oh, that's love, bro. The book, it is www.akeeminspires.com is the website, and it will have the book section on my website, man. I will drop it in the comments when I see you next in the comments, bro. To become a member, all you got to do is just below each video. There's a button to click that says become a member, and it should pop up. I can send that to you as well, man. I appreciate you asking about that, man. That's love, man. I'll definitely send you that information. Raging Bull is a great film, and there's a great movie called Champion from 1949 with Kirk Douglas. That's a name I have not heard in a while. I haven't seen Champion. I've seen bits and pieces of Raging Bull. I'm going to see Champion, man. One thing about my brother Francisco, man, is he is a historian. This man knows a whole bunch of things, especially about boxing, but about other things as well, too, man. So whenever I see him in the comments, he always gives me a little bit of a lesson. But yeah, so, man, before we close out with the quote of the week, man, if there's any more questions that you guys want to ask, any more comments that you want to make, any other thing, let me know before we move forward. Again, I appreciate every single person that has taken the time to tune in. You know, Tuesdays is one of the days that I look forward to, man, because I save my thoughts to get in real time with you guys as we talk about the fights that happen. We can always have a discussion. We won't always agree on everything, man, but we can have a discussion about it. So again, appreciate each of you for taking the time, man. You know, it's always love. Let us keep things going, and let's close out here. Little bit of like little ancient Rome, man. We got this one here that goes, do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you have now was once among the things you only hoped for. Man, this quote right here immediately brings me to a place of gratitude. And I start my day the same way, and I end my day the same way, man. I always give thanks. I always give God the thanks for giving me the eyes and the ears, and be able to put my feet on the ground, to be able to have life. Life in itself is a gift. And I always try my best to make sure that I always give thanks, because there's always something to be grateful for. But the lesson, how I learned that, came with chaos, and it came with a little bit of turmoil as well too. Without getting too much into it, because we're already an hour and 28 minutes here. Came to Canada from Jamaica for a better life, right? I grew up very rough in Jamaica, the place where I grew up. There in 2017, it was the third highest death rate in the city of Jamaica at that time. Just the backstory of how I grew up. So you moved to Canada for a better life, me and my mom. And so about 12 years old, man, 12, 13 years old, we moved to a bigger city called Calgary. If you ever heard of Calgary in Canada, most people know Toronto. Well, Toronto is 4.5 hours flying on the other side. So Toronto is east, Calgary is western side of Canada. And so there was a situation where my mom and I were homeless, right? Middle of winter time, no place to go, no place to lay our heads. We stumbled upon this bus stop, and this bus stop had 4 mirrors. It had one side on the right, 4 walls. It had glass on it, but there was a door there, so we were able to at least stop the wind from getting in us. So during this time when my mom and I were homeless, man, it was very tough, very dark. As a young kid, right? Like, you come to a different place for a better life, and you fall on hard times. A little bit of an oxymoron. And I remember those times, man, thinking to myself, like, man, this is crazy. How did we get here? I'm a 12, 13-year-old kid. My mom is in her 20s at this point, 20s, 30s. And I asked my mom, I said, Mom, what are we going to do? And I knew she felt a ways, because she couldn't look me in the face, because she didn't have no answers. And it was in that moment, man, where I realized, just like, wait 1 second. I realized 2 things. One, I learned the power of gratitude, because I was so grateful that I did not have to go through this situation alone, that I had my mom with me in the middle of winter time in Canada. Man, I was so grateful that I had a jacket to kind of keep me warm. Like I was so grateful that I had I had laces in my shoes. I was so grateful for all of these things that I did have in a situation that was very hard and very challenging. It got to the point where I was going to school very early in the morning, and I would go and I would brush my teeth in the bathroom before anybody was there. It was me and the janitor. I knew exactly what time the school opened. I knew exactly time when kids were going to be arriving, and I would go and I would wash up and brush my teeth. And then at the end of the day, I would sneak my mom in, and she would clean up herself as well too. And that's how we got through it. And it was in that moment that I realized, man, even in life's most difficult situations, there is still something to be grateful for. And I held on to that moment. Like it also made me so mentally strong in the sense of I'm a firm believer that life is not going to be rough forever. It's not going to be tough forever. At some point, it will change. But man, if you can find something to be grateful for every single day, it makes the journey a little bit more easier and palatable to be able to swallow. Joy and happiness are two different things. Happiness is what we strive for. We hope to be happy. Happiness is fleeting, but joy is a choice that we can always make. And that one thing that helps is finding something to be grateful for. You don't have to look far to be grateful for life itself. So that's what that makes me think of today. As we close out the show, I hope this was an encouragement to you, maybe a reminder for you, maybe something that you can think back and think about this quote, maybe when something happens throughout the week where you didn't see coming. Hopefully this can give you that little bit of spark to say, man, it is all good. It's not that serious. It's tough, but I'm going to get through it. So again, much love to each of you. Thank you all for continuing to rock with the channel. Thank you for taking the time to tune in week to week. I don't take your eyes, your ears for granted. I don't take any of you for granted, man. It's always, always love and appreciation and respect from me. So with all that being said, man, God bless each of you. Keep the faith, keep the strength, stay encouraged. And we will be back next week because we got to talk about the weekend of fights that is going to be happening. Much love to each of you. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week.